I do think, I mean, what Montague said, you know, he's an amphibian, right? Which was one way of calling me a frog, right? This is John's quiet way. But he did say that. And I think, you know, I'm whichever way you'd like to look at it, an Irish poet who writes American poems some of the time. And I think that moment of beginning was very important to me, to be thinking Kavanagh and thinking Pádraic Fallon and thinking MacNeice and thinking Austin Clarke, which I was writing about, whom I was writing about, in the context of reading Creeley and Rethke and Berryman and Elizabeth Bishop, in order to affect my poems, while at my right hand was writing criticism about these Irish poets, post-Yeats poets, who were themselves part of my quotation mark heritage, you know. So they were, both of these things were definitely, I think, cross-fertilizing. And I think when I come to write about landscape, then it's not, an awful lot of the landscape I write about is actually over here. I mean, because I do write about pretty well what's under my nose. And if I'm in Provincetown, a lot of the poems in that book, the most recent book, Still Life with Waterfall, are actually, they move between Vermont, no, sorry, New Hampshire, and Provincetown, and the west of Ireland, and those are the three, and some Poughkeepsie stuff. But those are the three. The first ones are the three kind of basic landscapes that I inhabit, and all the time trying to. I guess I wouldn't know how to read this properly myself, but I do try to write poems out of the matter in front of me. It's very physical stuff, weather and landscape. And at the same time, I am a consciousness trying to do some justice to my own predicaments in terms of consciousness, and to mediate those through a landscape and weather and the factual matter, the fauna, the flora and stuff, without. So Robert Wrigley wrote a nice essay there not long ago in The Nation about that book, and he said something about my not being really a nature poet, you know, as such. There's always something else trying to charge the natural matter that I attend to, whether it's weather or landscape, or the stuff in the landscape, fauna and flora. I think that's correct, and I think that's also what must come down to me is some, even though I don't know Emerson, some Emersonian connectedness with spirit and landscape, you know. I mean, that must be there in some way. I mean, I get it not through Emerson, I get it through Stevens and Berryman and Rethke and Snyder. You know what I mean? Poets whom I really felt were important to me, and Bishop, to give me a language of the everyday for dealing with mysterious. I mean, the stuff at the edge of things, you know.